Number 4 will totally shock you. Hi everybody and welcome to Cats and Pats. Recently, the vet clinic chain Banfield Pet Hospital released their annual report on the state of pet health. And while this report focused on cats and dogs, this is Cats and Pats, so we're going to focus on the kitties. And the findings in these reports are based on 500,000 plus cats brought into 950-ish Banfield Vet Clinics. So Banfield does this report every year, hence the name annual, but this year in particular, they're spotlighting obesity in pets. And in this report, they claim that 1 in 3 cats are obese, and they call it an obesity epidemic. In the past 10 years, they say they've seen a 169% increase in obese cats. And I'll dive into the report in a second, but you click this video, you want to know the state-by-state breakdown and who has the heaviest cat. Well, here we go. Topping off the list, we have Minnesota, with 46% of the cats coming in being labeled obese or overweight. And all these state numbers are based on 500,000 cats that were brought into Banfield vet offices in 2016. So number 2 on the list is actually Nebraska, with 43% of the cats brought in being labeled as obese. And Iowa comes in at number 3 with 42%. So I'm not going to go through all the states, but rounding off the top 10, we have at number 4 Idaho, followed by Delaware, Michigan, Nevada, Kansas, Utah, and New Mexico. For you Virginians like me, we came in at a rate of 36%, which I'm not sure where that ranks overall. I didn't want to click through and do all that work. Now, something we have to keep in mind here using our critical thinking skills is who did this study. That's simple enough, Banfield Vet Clinics, which if you don't know what they are, they're like a chain of vet clinics. They're kind of throughout the country. I think sometimes you'll see them in a PetSmart. But though they have a lot of clinics, they have 0 locations in Alaska, Hawaii, Maine, North Dakota, South Dakota, Vermont, West Virginia, and Wyoming. And along those lines, some states only have a few locations, like maybe less than 10. So data from those states might be skewed a little one way or the other. And a couple articles I read about this made some interesting observations about human obesity rates and pet obesity rates. And I'll link those articles below if you want to check them out. But get this, according to this Huffington Post article, 4 of the 6 states with the highest human obesity rates, namely Louisiana, Alabama, Arkansas, and Mississippi, were actually in the bottom 6 when it came to overweight pets. Now, just like with people, weight doesn't necessarily correlate to health. Now, that sounds like a foreign concept to you. I encourage you to check out my wife's channel. She's a dietitian here on YouTube. But anyway, some of these states that had the lower rates of obesity had higher rates of intestinal parasites, which makes it harder for cats to put on weight. Now obviously, intestinal parasites can cause a ton of problems and are not good for your cat. So going further, why does this matter and what can you do about it? Well, to begin, from a purely financial perspective, Banfield says that obese cat owners will spend 36% more on diagnostic cat procedures than the non-obese counterparts. Perhaps more importantly, being obese can negatively impact your cat's health. Things like arthritis, diabetes, and heart disease are all correlated with obesity. And if you aren't sure if your cat is thin or overweight or somewhere in between, I'll link their infographic as one of the top things in my description. And it has this like nice little chart for helping you determine where your cat is on the scale. One of the reasons for increased obesity in pets is that owners are actually getting kind of a skewed perspective about how big their pets should be. Okay, so what can you do? Well, one of the causes of obesity in cats and dogs is overfeeding. So limit down on those treats if you find yourself doing that a lot. Or try using other rewards for good behavior, like giving your cat a belly rub if they're into belly rubs. If your cat isn't into belly rubs, don't do it. But you know, maybe like a head scratch or something. Also, limit giving them people food if that's something you do. They also make some anti-binge or like interactive feeding bowls that you can get off like Amazon. And I don't have one, so I can't vouch for it myself. But the idea is that your cat has to work a little bit to get the food out, and it prevents them from like speed eating, and it also offers some mental stimulation. Speaking of which, just as important to your cat's diet is their exercise. And as little as like 10 minutes a day can help out drastically. Some ideas are like little motorized toys or like fishing rod toys if you have something like that. Laser pointer is also a great option if you can get your cat to like chase it up and down the hall or around the couch or whatever. You just want to try to get them running around and their blood pumping. Also, just like people, cats can eat when they're bored, so provide some entertainment to them. And if you want to know more, the Banfield report is an extremely readable infographic-y page with a ton of information. So I'll link that below as well. So yeah, if you're feeling motivated and want to make some of your own cat toys, I'll link one of my most popular DIY cat toy videos right here in about 3 seconds. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Should I try to get Mooma's belly in here or something? No, do not fat shame Mooma. I'm not fat shaming anybody.